in which Japan played, Japan versus Poland. They seem to have taken that criticism to heart in this match.
And it cost them. It cost them because 2-all, in the 93rd, or 30 seconds to go, you are in a corner, you sent 5 people into the box. You don't need to attack. You just need to spoil those 30 seconds to take it to the extra time. A breather of 5 minutes extra time, then maybe the tiebreaker. And off the counter, who scores? Belgium scores. You are running and chasing the ball in the 93rd minute, like if as you are 1-2 down, you are 2-all. Why are you going all out? I sometimes don't understand what the strategy of the coaches are.
Indeed. All right, moving on to the next match now. Brazil advanced to the quarterfinals of the World Cup in style after beating Mexico 2-0 in their round of 16 game. It is for the 7th straight time that the 5-time world champions have reached this stage. Star forward Neymar opened the scoring for Brazil and comfortably set up the second goal as well at the end of the tournament run of impressive looking Mexico.
Neymar led all the way, scoring a goal, setting up another, and making and troubling the Mexican defense line throughout the match as Brazil cruised its way to the quarterfinals. Barring one close attempt at the Brazilian goal, Mexico lagged behind in playmaking. After a goalless first half, the Paris Saint-Germain forward opened scoring in the 51st minute. And just before the close of play, he was again at his best, setting up a second goal, running through the Mexican defense before coolly passing it to Roberto Firmino, who slotted it in to take an unbeatable 2-0 lead in the 88th minute. It was the 7th World Cup running that Brazil have reached the last 8, where they will now face Belgium on Friday. Mexico, who had a good outing in the World Cup after handing a shock 1-0 defeat to reigning champions Germany, started off well in their characteristic stubborn style, with goalkeeper Ochoa notching several saves. But as the game progressed, the Central Americans looked to playing a catching-up act, often losing possession near the Brazilian post.
Yo creo, y es una vergüenza para el fútbol, que se pierda tanto tiempo en un solo jugador. Creo que la pérdida de la vehemencia con la que jugamos el primer tiempo tiene que ver mucho con el arbitraje.
Eu não ligo muito para crítica, né? Às vezes nem mesmo para elogio, porque isso pode influenciar de alguma coisa a cabeça do atleta. Esses últimos 2 jogos.
Brazil now faces Belgium in the quarter-final, where they will be without defensive midfielder Casemiro, who picked up his second booking in Monday's game. Rajat Kain's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, here are the stats for this game with Tina.
Let's look at the stats of the match between Brazil and Mexico. Possession was almost equal between the two sides. Mexico finished with 51% of possession compared to Brazil's 49%. There was also a big difference when it came to shots on goal and target. Brazil, as you can see on your screens, had 20 shots on goal, of which 10 were on target, whereas Mexico had 14 shots on goal with only 1 on target. The Mexicans also committed 11 more fouls than the South Americans. That's it from me from the Stats Zone.
Nilanjan, we spoke about this yesterday. We said the defense and the goalkeeper has to have a big game if Mexico have to prove a point in the match against Brazil. The goalkeeper had a splendid game, but the Brazilians were too good for the Mexicans.
Without any doubt. Second half, in fact, with Mexico trailing 1-0, Mexico couldn't just penetrate. And when they are attacking down the flanks, you expected more people in the box. In contrast to what Japan did in the 90th minute, I remember a particular corner in the 86th, 87th minute which Mexico got, only 3 people in the box.
Sure.
What messages are you giving out to each and everyone? They were defensive and they were out of ideas, just couldn't reach the Brazilian defensive wall.
Indeed, everyone talks about the attacking style and flair of the Brazilians, but they have been impressive in defense in this World Cup. They've conceded only 1 goal. Yeah, very impressive defending yesterday. Yesterday was a standout performance defensive-wise because Mexico just ran out of ideas. Their counter attacks were not being able to sort of
get into the box. Even on one-on-ones, they were not being able to get past. Standout performance for me yesterday was Willian. You know, he was someone who's dropping back and going up in defense. Great game for him, but of course Neymar shown finally.
Remains to be seen how far the Brazilians go in this tournament. They play the Belgians. Next is going to be an interesting contest. Nilanjan and Jyoti, thank you for joining me on the program and sharing your perspectives with me. That's it from me. See you again same time tomorrow.